Hello everyone and welcome back to Town of Salem 2. In this video I get an early Jest to win. Hope you enjoy! Two says, TP, look out on me please. I see Bread Blood Ritual. 5 says, I'm stuck in a time loop. Solo Baker, Monarch, Hex, Monarch. Oracle. Oracle again. Help. Poor 5. Sadly, that's how RNG can work sometimes. Okay, so my strat is to shake things up a little. Let's claim Solo Baker. And hopefully get an easy early win. Okay, so 2 asks for TP LO. Let's bread 5. I've had too many videos of me getting a late just to win, so let's change things up a bit. I wasn't attacked, nice. Rest in peace to 9. There is a Medusa because they were stoned. For all we'll know, they could be Coven. 10 says Tracker, Night 1. 13 visited no one. 2 says Seer. 4 13 friendly. 4 says TP, I was roadblocked. I say OMG, I can't take this anymore. Help! I'm Solo Baker. 5 says 1 3 4 claim. 3 says I'm TS. 8 says VFA time. 13 says I claim TK. 8 says 1 6 7 claim. 7 says did 1 claim. 5 claims TP. 7 claims TP. I say I claimed Baker. 4 says hang the Baker, no bread. I say sad face. 12 says trash the bakery. And there is a Prosecutor jump scare, and they prosecute 7. 1 says there. 7 says ... 7 says soul collector down. 1 says watch who you're tagging next time. 7 says 6 is eggshell baker. I say no, not my SC. 5 says you'd make a great cop 1. I say no. 2 says socialite don't go on 1. I'm gonna use them in my serial. 2 says 1 I follow you to the end. 3 says you are such a comforting baker 6. I said we had such a good strat. 1 says how about you take a shot 13. 12 claims TP. 11 says we have all claims. 8 says mode for time. Maybe let's write down the claims. 1 is Prosecutor, obviously. 2 is Seer. 4 asks, can I have bread? I say, sure. 1 says, we have all claims, 13. 5 says, what info do we need? It's day 2. 13 says, I know. 13 says, but I don't want to waste. 3 says, we can get the baker claim. 3 says, just have pros Eno. 11 says, 1, you're really good by the way. 5 says, this town is going nowhere. I say, I guess you hate bread. Oh well. No bread for anyone then. Five says, dude, I might be forgetting something. When we play this game, 2 says, wait, I like bread. 5 says, you asked for someone's roles, right? 8 says, huh? 3 says, realistically, probably just Jester, but it's the only lead right now. 13 says, I like bread, but... Nice. I say, tee hee hee. Thank you, SC. Love you. 3 says, nice. 5 says, am I wrong, guys? 1 says, TP on me in case 10 wants to rampage. 11 says, when you play Nath, you ignore the town powers going on power trips though, 5. 5 says, it's chill. 10 says, 1. TP, please. Oh, sadly, SC left. Who do I haunt then? Obviously I can't get the Prosecutor, the E-Note. Let's haunt 8. Or, let's get 11 instead. Rest in peace to 11, the Javon Keeper. They were haunted by me. Nice. No more roll blocking evils. 11 says, what? "14 died to Medusa, or they were a Covenant member who was stoned and NK got to them." 2 says, 1, 8 enemies. 1 says, I don't believe it, get the seer. 10 says, tracker, night 1, 4 visited 12. 5 says, seer can't go on revealed town power. 2 says, don't. 1 says, 4, if you are TP, why are you going to 12? 5 says, 2 is just fake. 2 says, I'm seer. 4 says, yes, chain TP. 5 says, seer can't go on revealed town power. 2 says, why would you not believe? 12 says, I never went for a chain. 2 says, yes, seer can, I just did it. 8 says, seer cannot even go on revealed pros. That's misinfo. 5 says, I hope this pros does something useful. 4 says, oh, I just thought you would go to pros. 3 says, oh, hey, I can play the game now. 2 says, 1, 8 enemies. Is it evil majority already? Seer, 413 friendly, 1, 8 enemies. 8 says, nah, 2 seems just to be my executioner. I think we should try to get Covenant here. 2 says, please, I'm Seer, I don't know what to tell you. 5 says, they are dumb exy. 8 says, no he ain't, we need Covenant. 1 says, I think he's real. 4 says, is this exy? 4 says, you think Covenant? 2 says, yeah. 5 says, 1, you're a donation moron, dude. 8 says, Seer cannot visit Prosecutor. 2 says, 8 is down, lol. Okay, so 2 was Axie then. 8 says, 1, can you pros me? 5 says, you have to be just trolling at this point. And this was Axie. 8 says, 1, I'm confirmed fake, right? 3 says, what? 5 says, holy flummery. Okay, looks like nothing happens in the night, so let's skip it. Okay, so 5 is TP, 8 is... TK. Rest in peace to 13. They were stoned, so we never know what role they were. Medusa is out of stones because they've stoned 3 players. 10 says Tracker. 15 visited 1. 8 says Roblox Poisoner game. 10 says I think 12 is fake. 8 says all the staff is just as smart as our pros. 1 says checks out. 5 says Y is 4 visiting 12. 1 says 10 full claim. 12 claims Oracle. 5 says when 1 is real pros. 5 says 10 is Tracker. Dude, what do you mean full claim? Shut up. 12 says I've been hitting where I need to. 10 says sorry, I just read my wheel wrong. 5 says kill 4. 8 says has 13 shot anyone? 5 says 4 going on 12 for no reason. 1 says 13 is dead. 8 says I know. There is a prosecutor jump scare and they prosecute 5. 1 says tell me to shut up. 5 says well played, you are really smart, pros. Everyone give it up for this pros. W pros, y'all. 4 says this pros is something alright. 1 says you're acting awfully evil. I don't think so. 8 says 1, dude, you are the one acting evil here. 10 says 1, he was telling you why were you asking me for full claim when I've posted every day. 10 says this was a dumb move. 3 says I'm crying. I see rip 5. 8 says I really want to hang this pros. 1 says this was a dumb move. 8 says for how stupid they're being. 10 says with 4 covens still alive. 10 says up 1. 14 says I mean 1 just got lucky that 7 was SC. I say true. 4 says guys I'm not coven but I think you have majority. 10 says coven I will fully vote for you if you inno this and up 1. 4 says I'm just hanging out bread. Please. 1 says yeah 10 is wilding. 8 says yeah I will vote 1 for you as well. 1 says and this is coven. 12 says dude what? Oh, this almost got innoed, but sadly it got guilty 3-2. 4 says it's cheesy garlic bread. How could you? 3 says flummery. Rest in peace to baker. I say not the baker. They hate bread here. Okay, so night chat is silent for now, so let's skip the night. Rest in peace to 10, the tracker. 10 says prosecutor throw. 10 was killed by the coven. 10 says sorry about that 5. 5 says Jesus fucking Christ. Our prosecutor 100% through, said the last will. 10 says 4 coven left and he gets mad. 7 called him out. I say pros thinks they're the main character syndrome. 8 says revolution, let's hang 1. 1 says prosecuting a random isn't throwing. Learn the meaning of words. 15 says I must have missed something cause. 12 says is there a revolution? 1 says why don't you hang yourself? What? Okay, I'm reporting 1. 8 says one shall die tonight for crimes against town. 10 says this guy is unhinged. 1 says this will be my favorite report ever. 10 says the heck lol. 15 says 8 how come? Okay, let's yeah. let's report this. 1 says up 8. 8 says, nah, I'm useless admin, get 1. Oh my gosh, the prosecutor got up by both evils and town. They made everyone mad about them. I say, I reported 1 for abusive chat. Because WTF was that? Eleven says, 6, why did you kill me then? 10 says, yeah, he's crazy. 8 says, guilty, I know you are there. You all there are Coven. 15 says, I'm actually TP. I say, I'm Jester. I saw chaos. Anyways. 5 says, I think we got a live example of what someone who's generally useless to society does. They get on Town of Salem 2 and scroll pros until their brain is mush. 15 says, which is why I was confused about why everyone was so sure about you. 5 says, 1, I'm sorry you have such a flummery life. You should consider doing something about it. 10 says, 1, we got to do better as humans than telling others to hang themselves. I say, yeah, that's not cool at all and reportable. 10 agrees with me. 1 says, oh yeah, telling someone to hang themselves in the game about hanging is reportable. Do better, be better. 5 says, 1, are you just upset because you had to watch your wife get tarnation? 1 says, 6, grow the tarnation up. Keyboard warrior, Lamau. Oh my gosh, why town power players are this trash sometimes? 1 says, tarnation idiot. Oh, I hate this. 15 says, see, told you. 12 says, so. 3 says, well, well, well. 10 says, not even a 4 Coven game. Sigh. 8 says, I did actually throw. 12 says, yes. 15 says, yeah. 3 says, yeah. 8 says, I thought you 3 were Coven. 5 says, why are you still here? Do you like getting degraded? 12 says, it's been 2 this whole game. 8 says, damn. 15 says, I was like half sure you were Coven by the joke hang. 8 says, I don't regret hanging 1 though. They killed 2 townies. 3 says, thank God you didn't ask for my will yesterday because I had nothing for you. 15 says, so, like literally nobody knows how 8 got confirmed pre-2's hang? 5 says, it's not too late 1, just admit you are rage baiting. 3 says, speed it up 15. 8 says, arsonist, just ignite, it's fine. 5, don't be like 1, come on. 15 says, I guess it was, rest in peace. Okay, the chat is silent again, so let's skip. Rest in peace to 12, the Medusa. They were shot by a veteran. Wow, Night 6 alert. This veteran is goated. Three says, I'm not even mad at it. 15 says, why, did you not? 5 says, 1, town is winning, despite you crossing SC, Oracle, and getting hung yourself. I hope this speaks something for you. 15 says, put book on poise, Lamau. 8 says, the throw accusations have been debunked. 3 says, I'm Necro. 15 says, you revolved me with what, Necro Tavern? 8 says, cause I called you Arthur, it worked. 15 says, holy. 8 says, I feel so bad for throwing. But we brought it back. 3 says, I'm sure one is typing up an essay right now. 5 says no, they're here touching themselves because they get off trolling. I don't know why you're still here. 8 says, yeah, 1 is definitely mad as hell, they haven't left yet. 8 says, I think we would have lost if 1 didn't get hanged. I say, maybe they want to flame the whole town after the windscreen, I don't know. 3 says, GG's. 14 says, 1 left 5. 5 says, they genuinely just wanted to see town loose, that's insane. And this was Necromancer. 14 says, yeah. 8 says, see, I cannot check revealed pros. 15 says, oh. And town is win. 12 says, that was diabolical, bro, GG's. 10 says, by some divine miracle we won. 8 says, GG's, you're welcome. 5 says, best ending possible. I say, GG. 5 says, we hung a pros and still won. Here are all the roles that we've had in this game. Please don't be like 1, please. Thank you so much for watching this video. Here are the videos that might interest you as well. And see you soon in the next one.